This video will review the instructions for Programming Assignment 4 in CSC 120. There's going to be a video of a sample program that shows how it would operate. So I'm just going to go over the instructions here and point out some important things. Programming Assignment 4 is going to reuse the class definition that you developed in Programming Assignment 2. Okay, so you're going to take that class definition from Programming Assignment 2, and we're going to add a graphical user interface that has a text field for each of your properties in your class and some buttons that will operate as described here in the instructions. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to set up a new Java application, okay, and you'll want to use the MU-frame and MU-Java files, MU-frame.java file that is stored here. You don't need the MU-panel Java because there's no drawing in this. It's going to only be text-based. So you can delete the MU-panel file and modify the MU-frame so that that doesn't have any references to MU-frame. Okay, now make sure that the class that you wrote for Programming Assignment 2 has all the required parts, has to have at least 4 properties, at least 2 of which are a numeric type, must have a constructor method, must have getter methods for each property, and a toString. You can have setters, you don't have to have setters, but you have to have a getter for every property, a toString method, and a constructor. Okay. Now, in the MU-frame.java file, switch to Design View, hit the Design tab, and you're going to create a user interface for your program. You want to have a text field for each of the properties in your class, and each of those fields should be preceded by a label that describes what the user should enter into the field. So, I don't know, name, price, quantity, whatever your properties were. Okay, and then there's going to be 2 buttons added to the interface and a text area. The text area is going to be used for displaying the output. Make sure you use a text area, not a text field for that thing. Okay? And then follow the rest of these instructions. Also, be sure to change the variable name for your text fields, buttons, and text area so that they use names that are meaningful to your topic. Okay? All right. Now, there's 2 buttons. One of the buttons is going to be something like process form data. And so when you double click on that button, it will make a new action performed in the MU-frame class for that. And here's what should happen when the user clicks on your process form data button. First of all, you should retrieve all data from the text fields into strings, okay, as you saw in this demonstration program that does. I think it could be part 2 of Lab 5, I believe, did that using getText. Okay, and then you're going to use those strings to instantiate a new object from your class. So your class has a constructor, okay, and so you want to make a new object from your class. And for the numeric properties, the integer and double data types, you'll need to convert that using the integer.parseInt and double.parseDouble methods, as was shown in the one demo video that we preceded this. Okay. Third step then is to display the results of the toString method in the text area of the user interface. Okay, so you're getting the data from that the user entered, making a new object, and then saying object name dot toString. You'd say output area dot append, and then the results of the toString. Okay. Okay, and then what you want to do is you want to add the value of one of the numeric properties in your class to a total variable that you set up. So you're keeping track of the total of one of your numeric properties. And you're going to want to add one to a count variable that keeps track of how many times the button has been clicked. So every time this button is clicked, you're adding 1 to the counter. That'll be used to calculate the average. Okay. And then, so that's what happens when the process form data button is clicked. You don't print the total, you don't print the average at that point. You're just printing the results of the toString method, and you are adding to the total, adding to the count. Now, the other button, the Display Numeric Statistics button, here's what should happen when the user clicks on that button. Your application should calculate the average of the numeric field you've chosen to use, and then display the total and average values in the text area. Okay? And the average needs to be displayed with decimal places. Okay? So you need to make sure that you have decimal places for the average, even if you're using an integer. Okay? Now, it's optional to keep track of statistics for 2 or more properties of your class. The demo video that's going to follow this shows that, keeping track of more than one total for your class. You only have to do one. Okay? So, let's consult the rubric to see what's going on there, and I think that's a good overview of the programming assignment. And watch the next video, which shows a particular program that would satisfy these requirements in operation. And once again, that program has some extra features, like not only does it calculate the total and average, but also the minimum and maximum values. So there's a few extra things in there, but it also shows the basics of what you need to do for programming assignment 4.